introduction about wide marketing, just in case you haven't dealt with us before. We're a full service email marketing agency specialising in email marketing. Our clients range from small businesses to large PLCs and everything in between. Now, we offer managed services through an agency style setup for clients who want to outsource their email marketing strategies, as well as offering support and training to clients who would prefer to create email templates and campaigns before sending them themselves. Whether you're looking for a bespoke template, do-it-yourself email sends, or full campaign strategy and implementation, we can support you to that success. Now, my own experience spans over 20 years, during which time I've been involved with digital marketing projects ranging from small, highly targeted postcode-specific campaigns to full national and multinational integrated marketing strategies. I worked across a number of B2B and B2C sectors as well. Love sharing what I've learned through that time. So that's what you need to know about us. We'll now move on to the webinar. Now, we always have a broad spectrum of attendees at the webinars. The main aim of this one is to show you how to add images, videos and animations to your email campaigns through the wired marketing system. Webinar itself should run for about 30 minutes. You can contact me directly after we finish if you've got any questions or if you want to have more of an in-depth conversation. Also, as we go through the webinar itself, if you do have any questions, please feel free to post them and I'll try and pick them up as soon as I can as we're going through as well. So first of all then, we'll log into the system. So we'll get across to there now. So as usual, you end up on the usual dashboard, the home dashboard there. Now, there's various ways we can start looking at the image manager and start importing images and editing the ones that we've got. The easiest way is actually from this home page itself. And what we can do is hover over campaigns and then look at the image manager there. Obviously, we can also do that from each individual campaign, which we'll do in a little while as well when we start looking at editing things. But for now, we'll go into the image editor. So this takes us through to the image management section of the system. As you can see, there's quite a few options we've got, mainly down the left-hand side, the usual setup there. So first of all, we can add a new folder for images. So if we're looking at creating specific folders for specific campaigns, this is the easiest way to do it. As you can see, we've already got a few set up for the dates where they were uploaded, but you can also use it for specific campaigns and then keep each image in folders relevant to that. You can also add images to the current folder using this option here. We can then look at all the images we've got on the system at this point in time, just using that option there. We can also look at recently uploaded images, the dates as well, and then we've got a recycle bin if we do want to remove any. So first of all, we'll go back into the all images section. So across the top here in this section, we've got various options. So the first is a list view. So it does just that. It shows you a thumbnail of the image itself, the name of the image, the width, the height, the size, and when it was uploaded. Now, when it comes to image sizes, it's worth bearing in mind that obviously email campaigns have a 100 kilobyte limit on the overall size, so we need to make sure that our images are suitably sized for our purposes and they're not sort of high definition images that are being dragged off the website, which may be far too large for the templates that we're looking to send, the emails that we're looking to send. So that's the list view. We've got the thumbnail view, which is the one that's a little bit more familiar if you're used to using Windows especially. We can change the size of the thumbnails as well using this little slider here. If we choose an image, we can then preview it, and we can also scroll across to look at the next images in the list there as well. We can rename that image straight away, so we can type in and change that detail there. We can crop. So again, it allows us to make sort of edits quickly from this section here. We can also remove and edit from here too. We can search for specific images or certain keywords that we may be using as well there. So for now, what we'll do is we'll choose, say this image here, the logo image. If we double click on that, it'll take us through, and we can crop that image using that option there. At the bottom, we also have the same options at the top from before. So we can rename the image here, we can crop it, we can edit. So what we'll do is for now, we'll actually look at the edit section. Now this gives us an awful lot of options that we can start using to sort of enhance our images, to brand them up as well, to look for, you know, for certain looks that our brands work towards. So working across each of these in turn, we've got enhance. So we can high def, we can look at scenery, food options, portrait and night. On that image it's not so clear as to what that does, so what we'll do is we'll go and find a slightly better image for our purposes here. So what we'll do is we'll find a nice big image to work with. So we look on edit, so this should give us a better idea of how these sort of defaults work. As you can see, they are changing quite subtly on this enhance option. We can add effects. So under signature, we've got, I suppose the easiest way of looking at these are like Instagram filters. So again, if you've got a certain look that you need to keep to for your brand, or a certain look that you want your images to stay consistently, you can use those options there. And then we've got the classic options too. So again, some of these are a little bit way out there, but you never know when they might be useful. So again, it's just a good way of, and a quick way of being able to edit images quickly whilst you're in the system, rather than having to go into Photoshop and change things over there and then upload the image again. We can also add a few different types of frames. So again, these are all flashed up as per the sort of Instagram type of filtering as well. As you can see, there's a number of options there to edit those images. And then under Bohemia, we've got, again, a few different overlays there that we can use. We can also add some shape overlays. As you can see, you can just literally just drag and drop these effects around as to where you need them to be, or as to how may fit best for your particular branding. And then under Boom, we've got some sort of color type overlays as well. Again, it just gives you extra options to sort of manage and edit the images that you've already got in the system there. A few additional funny things, so stickers, we can add sort of mustaches on people, or we can add glasses, that sort of thing. And there's always quite a few other options further across the screen as well, and we just navigate exactly the same way across each of these. Now we can crop. So although this is a good way of sort of resizing images or cropping images to better suit what you're looking to do, you've got to bear in mind that even though you may be changing the overall size and dimensions of the image, the resolution doesn't change. So if it's a high definition image, it will still be at the same resolution as it was initially uploaded. So unfortunately, resolution is not something that can be changed quickly in this system. It would be a case of maybe going out to some of the software such as Photoshop, changing the resolution and then bringing it back into the system from there. But as I say, these are sort of quick and easy ways of adding a little bit of branding, a little bit of extra pizzazz to your images that you've uploaded. As you can see, there's blemish, white and red eye. Draw, so you can actually draw on the image. You can splash colour, you can add text to the image, and there's also a meme option as well. So it's a case of just choosing the top and bottom text, and then you can turn them into memes quite quickly there as well. So a lot of options to sort of edit the images that you're bringing in, but they are sort of more basic functions really. The biggest thing to remember again is that resolution, to make sure that it's as low a resolution as you possibly need for the email, just to keep the memory size down to something usable. So once we've seen obviously how we can sort of edit the images we've got, there's a few extra things that we can do on this screen here. So first of all, if you hover over an image such as we have there, you can see the name of it, the folder that it's in, the date it was uploaded, the size of it, the width and height of it. So again, it's a good way of making sure quite quickly really that any images that you have uploaded, you can see how much memory it's going to be taken up through using that image itself. So that's the sort of startup there of the image manager. What we'll look at doing now is actually adding images in. When it comes to the image manager itself, it works for photographs or static images, and also for GIFs or GIFs, however you name them where you are. For videos, it works slightly differently, so we'll look at that as a separate article once we've finished with the static images and GIFs and GIFs. So to add one, it's fairly straightforward. We hover over there, we click on add, and then we look for the images that we're looking for. So for argument's sake, say we've got a Christmas GIF that we're wanting to upload. We'd literally choose it, and then it will be uploaded, and all we need to do then is find it, and it's there. Now if you couldn't see it straight away, we knew it was named Christmas, so we could actually search for it, and it'll bring us it up there straight away. So as you can see, it does sort of play live in the preview there for you as well, so you know that's working. And it's exactly the same process for any static images that you may have as well. So we'll choose that image there, and again you can see that comes through, and we can edit exactly the same as we were looking at doing before, so we can add different stickers on and make changes that we might need to do there if we wish to do so. So once they've come through, it's always worth bearing in mind the actual names of the images that you're bringing in as well, to make sure that they're sort of clear for you and for anyone else that's using the system. Sometimes you might bring images across from your systems that might just be numbers, such as that one there, for instance. It's not the best naming convention. Obviously, if you've got hundreds of images on the system and you can't find one specific one you're looking for, it's a lot easier to remember it, such as we've got their wide marketing logo, Christmas GIF, retail picture one, that sort of thing. So it's worth bearing in mind the naming conventions when you bring things through as well. So that's the image manager from the campaign section there. As I mentioned before, we can also come into the image manager from the campaigns themselves as we're setting them up. So what we'll do is go into an existing campaign and show you where those details are. So if we go into this template, so we've got the template there, and the image manager again is down the left hand side under images, and all you need to do is click on the manage button itself. That'll bring you an extra pop-up up, so exactly the same format as we were looking at before, just coming from a different source. We can see the folders that we're using and the images by name there as well, and we can also change it from a grid to a list view as well. So again, however you prefer to work with those, we can you can adopt that whichever style that best suits how you work. So when it comes to actually using the images, it's just a case of dragging and dropping. So we can just drag them straight into the template if we wish to do so, as we've got there, or we can drag them into columns and it will fit to suit there. Once we've got the image in, we can resize it. So if we choose the image itself and then drag it, we can change the size. Obviously with these columns set up as they are, it's not going to let me take it any larger than that. You can again change the actual size of that image if you wish to do so. always bearing in mind as well. And we can just delete as usual there. So when we've got images actually in the template and we've created the email so it looks as we want it to do, there's a few extra things we can do with images in the drag and drop editor itself. As always, we can change the styles, so we can change the colour of the background on that image if we wish to do so. As you can see, that's changing around the white shoes there. And as always, if we don't like what we've just done, we can undo it and it goes back to how it was. We can add borders and padding as we do with other content blocks. We can choose whether that image actually displays on mobile devices and how it acts as well in those devices. So if we don't want it to show, we can hide it, and we can also ensure that it's not resized if we wish to do so as well. Again, it depends upon your email that you're creating, your campaign, and how you want it to act, but the options are there to be able to change how the images act in mobile displays. So going back to the build section, if we hover over that image and click on it and choose it, there's a few options at the top that are slightly different for images as they are for text. So first of all, we can add a link. So we can add a hyperlink to, in this case, with it being a potato, we'd send them through to a product page. We'd link with that URL there. We could also link groups, use link groups here. So we could put maybe shoes, maybe ladies' shoes, white shoes, and then obviously that helps us for tracking things a little bit later on. We can also choose a link name as well there. And all the other links are there as well. So you could add a forward to a friend link. Now that doesn't forward the image to a friend, that would forward the email to a friend, bear that in mind. But you can again use it as an anchor maybe, or use it to go to an anchor somewhere, or send them to a landing page or a survey, etc. So you've got your usual hyperlink options there for images. You can change the alignment of it in each section. Again, with it being set up in the columns there, you can't really see much of a difference as to the alignment, but if it was sort of setting a slant to one side, you can change where that's sitting there. You can also give the image a title. Now this is quite an underused part of the system really, I suppose. When you preview the email itself, first of all, we've got the images there. We've just seen the image of the white shoes, so we can see the white shoes there. Now if we choose to preview this with the images off, so if we're sending out to any email clients that don't automatically download images such as Outlook, this is what that customer, that contact would see. Now you can see here that there's a little bit of text on white shoes that isn't appearing on the others. That's because what's happened is we've actually added an image title, and there you can see the image title. Now it's good having it as an image title of white shoes. However, what you can do is use this as a call to action to try and get the contact to download the images. And it's as easy as just typing in download the images you're missing out on some great products, or product images. And then we apply that. So you don't see that initially, but again, if we preview it, it automatically previews with the images on. But if we turn those images off, you'll see now that we've got that little bit of sort of a call to action, download the images you're missing out on some great products. So rather than just having it that it's a little bit out of line and peach shoes $55.99 and show more, you can actually put these little snippets of extra information in, just to try and get the person then to upload the images, because obviously we're using those images to try and get that contact to make an action, to basically follow the calls to action in this email itself. And as I say, it's sort of underutilized really as a way of doing that and adding some alternative text into the image background itself, just in case that person's not got images downloaded. So that's sort of it for images there. If you do want to change anything that you've got in your templates, rather than having to delete and then drag another image in, you can literally just drag an image in straight over the top. And then in that case, you'd probably want to resize it. And as you can see, it's a little bit askew, so we can center it and then it tidies everything up. And if we preview that, now this is one of the maybe pitfalls, I suppose, of using the alternative text. Because we've dragged an image over the top, we've got that call to action in there. So if it was specific to that image that we've just changed, we would need to go back and change it. In this instance, because it was a generic sort of call to action behind that image, it's not going to cause any issues there. And you could do that with any images, and then if you don't like what you've just done, you can undo it and go back to how it was initially with those white shoes there. So that works exactly the same for GIFs or GIFs as it does for the static images themselves. So if we say we've got one there, we can just drag that straight away into our template, just as we would do any images. And we center it. As you can see, it does actually automatically play there as well. But when we go into the preview, you can see that it's all working fine there as well. The thing with GIFs is that they catch the eye. They're sort of quite engaging. You can use them to highlight certain calls to action, or just give a little bit of variety to your emails themselves. Particularly for maybe B2C world, GIFs are very, very popular for things like product 360 views and that sort of thing as well. They are a good way of adding a little bit of sort of interactivity and engagement into emails. You do need to bear in mind though that they are a little bit larger than a static image, so again you've got to bear that in mind when you're uploading, to make sure that the size of the GIF itself isn't taking the email in total over that 100 kilobytes or thereabouts limit that we have on the sends to get into people's inboxes. So that's images, static, and the GIF side of things, and how we can upload them, how we can manage them in the management section, and how we can also edit them too. So we can just double click on the image and edit, and it's as easy as that. Now we move on to video itself. So in the building block section we have video, and we can just drag that video content box in to any part of the email, just as we've done with the creation of this. So again, we could drag it into here if we wanted, or we can create a new block as we've just done here. Now, when videos are obviously very, very large files, so it's not possible to actually upload a full video file into an email and send it out. So what the system does is lets you set up a video block which looks like a video player, but when the contact clicks on that video player, it will then take them to the site where that video is actually being hosted, so whether that's YouTube, Vimeo, or your own website. And it really is as easy as dragging the content block in and then choosing the URL that you're going to be sending them to view that video. So I've got a couple here that we can add in. Just copy that in there, and then it drags it straight through for us. And as you can see, it does look like a video player with the play button and the process bar at the bottom there. If we don't like the image that's coming through, we can actually change that image to one of our choosing by obviously going back into the image manager itself and choosing the image that suits. If you don't like the one that's automatically dragging through, it's very similar to YouTube in the sense that you can actually take a still image of the screen that you're wanting to use as that opening image, and then just saving that as a separate image and uploading it as the thumbnail to go into there. So that's quite an easy way of doing things. You can also decide whether or not that play bar shows. So if we untick that box, you'll see that it's just taken it away, and then we add it back in again. Because obviously if you've not got the play bar on, when the contact gets that email, they're not going to know that it's actually a video that they're looking at. It'll just look like a static image, as you can see on the preview there. So if you're going to include a video, it's always worth keeping that play bar there, so that then the person knows that it is a video. And we'll just wait for that to load. So as you can see now, it's very, very clear to that contact exactly what that is. And once we've done that, we can, as with all other content blocks, we can change the styles of it. So again, change the background colors. We can add borders and padding. And as with the other images and types of images, we can choose to hide it on mobile devices. Or not. Again, it's just as easy as clicking. And if we decide we want to change the video that we're using, we just change the link that we're using there. And when we preview, you can actually see that the video link's working. So we click on the play button, and as I mentioned, it takes them through to the video page where it's hosted, rather than playing live in the email. And that's a good way of keeping the memory of it down. So as you've seen, the system does make it very, very easy to upload images, to manage those images, to edit those images with certain basic sort of functionality, whether that's static images or GIFs themselves. And it's very, very easy to include links through to video from content blocks as well. Just a case of getting the link, dragging the content box to where you want that to go from the drag and drop editor, and then making sure that everything's linked through. And the best advice I can offer for video is to make sure that you keep the play bar on, so that the contact knows it's a video and not just a static image. Then they know to actually click on it, and they should see the video there. Things like GIFs and videos are nice ways of sort of changing the design of our emails and looking to get clicks and a little bit more engagement from people. Particularly with GIFs, you can get a lot more information into a GIF rather than having to type the text out. We've got a good example of a GIF that we've seen quite recently, which sort of highlights the strengths of them, I suppose, really. If I'll just find it for you, it's that one there. So obviously the information that's on this image This is actually just a still of the GIF itself, just so you can actually see it. But we've got really clear call to action at the top. We've got deadlines, we've got the discounts, we've got the call to action there. And this little section here was the animation, and the drinks glass actually emptied over about 8 to 10 stages. So it's quite a jumpy sort of animation, but it really highlighted that call to action. So it's a much clearer way of sort of highlighting your proposition there, rather than trying to do that with content and copy. So that's definitely one of the benefits of using the animations. It's a way of getting some movement into your email without obviously the limitations of video and the fact that they're just too big to be able to embed. So GIFs are a good way of doing that and adding sort of an extra dimension to the emails themselves. So that's the end of the webinar. I hope that you found it useful, that you've now got a better understanding of how flexible and easy the system is when adding visual assets into your email campaigns through the Wired Marketing system. Our contact details are on screen. At Wired Marketing, we're very open to any questions that you might have. So please feel free to contact us if you want to see how we can help you achieve email marketing success, or if you want to have a chat about what you're doing with your campaigns at the moment, just to give us a bit of an update on how things are going as well. Now, our next webinar will be another live session on Friday the 28th of October at 2 p.m. We'll be covering how to add and use dynamic content and responsive elements in your email campaigns. So again, just moving on a little bit further from adding the videos and animations in, next we'll be looking at that dynamic content. So to register to attend that webinar, please visit our website. And finally, the Wired team and I would like to thank you for attending the webinar today, and we wish you every success with your email marketing. Thank you very much. We hope to see you at one of our future webinars. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.